Hi, I'm Linda from paperboutiquewithlinda.com. Today I'm reviewing the Anna Griffin Collector's Edition stamp set. I purchased this set from HSN a few months ago for $39.95. They still have them in stock and the item number is 395633 and they sell for $49.95. So first of all, I want to tell you what you get in the kit. I'll show you some completed stamps and then I'll show you how I stamp them. You get 72 clear assorted stamps. The one you're looking at right now is called the hardware, and the collector kit comes with the hardware set and the creativity set. This one is my favorite. I'm going to show you in just a moment some examples, but this has beautiful pulls on it, buckles, all sorts of ornate keys and hinges and little pulls. This is, oh, and the watch is beautiful. This is just an amazing set. So once again, this grouping is the hardware set. Let me just move that aside for a moment, and then I want to show you, oh, isn't that beautiful? The creativity set. And the creativity set, as you might guess, and I'll move this down so you can see both of them. The creativity set is all about sewing and inks and scissors. And what's wonderful with this kit, you get little stamps that say handmade by from the desk of. I think that this is gorgeous. Let me pull this down. This one is my favorite, this antique sewing machine. So once again, you get the 72 stamps. And I'm gonna bring in the inks I use to stamp because I always get a lot of questions on the inks. And I have the Anna Griffin set of 8 inks, and I'm just gonna spread them out here, and I know some are out of frame, but I'll start at the very beginning. And these inks, there were 8 of them for $19.99. This is the gold, the Anna Griffin gold, the blue. This is the robin's egg blue. This is the ivory. Let me push those up. Then this is the green and the black and the pink and the warm gray. This really isn't a silver. It's a warm gray. So those are some of the inks I use. Now I want to show you some of the stamped images. I'll move this aside and I'm going to zoom in on these. This is just an example, make sure I get that in frame, of a couple of the handmade by stamps. That first one is handmade by, and then this one is hand stamped by. And they're on the back of an A2 card. I'll zoom back just a little so you can see the card. They're an A2 card, and that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you can kind of get a feel for the size. And then this is my all-time favorite stamp. That's the antique sewing machine. You get such a variety. Here's a couple of other ones that I stamped. This one, you could use it as a pull, and let me move these aside. And then this one, I love this stamp, and we'll zoom in really close. This is a hinge. And what I did is I stamped it and then I cut it apart and then I just folded it so you could use it as a hinge on a project. And then I want to show you the beautiful gold watch. And here's another one of those pulls. I'll bring that in. I always think it's a little bit easier to show you some of the stamps and how you might use some of the hardware. So this is a book I made recently with envelopes, and it's my envelope book. There's a tutorial on my YouTube page. And for example, here's an idea of how I might use a stamp. I stamped this cute little note paper, and there was a binder clip in the hardware, a stamp. I cut around them, glued them together, and as you can see here, it's already got like a little notepad. Wouldn't that be cute? Just on the back of that. So that's one way you can use it, but the way I think is going to be the most fun is I took the hardware pulls, stamped them, and then put 2 little brads in, and look at this. You could just do it on the bottom of the page. You could just attach it there, and that could just be your little pull. Isn't that clever? I love that Anna Griffin designed those. And here's the black one. I didn't have navy ink, otherwise I think navy would be the best, but I just wanted to show you a couple of those. I don't have that quite in frame. And the other thing with this particular little pocket over here, I'll pull this out. I used one of her antique door pulls, and I just stamped it, cut around it, and then glued it to just a piece of paper. You could do that any size, and look at how cute that is. Once again, navy would be perfect. But all of these pieces that I just showed you are from the hardware kit. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, let me move all that away, and pause, and then we'll get back together and I'll show you how I actually ink and use her stamps. I love using a stamp press when I'm using Anna Griffin acrylic stamps or other acrylic stamps. And I've already inked this once just so you could see the stamp. But I'm going to turn it over and obviously ink it again. I forgot to mention in the first part of my video that I'm not a stamper. So if you have any suggestions on how to make this a little easier, please let me know. I'm making sure I've got a good coat of the black because the stamp is fairly new. And this is a pigment ink. Anna Griffin inks are pigment. So all I'm going to do, and I'm using a piece of Walmart paper, I'm just going to turn it over, and you could just hold it on the ends, but I really like to get a lot of pressure on acrylic stamps. I know you probably don't have to, but I like to for a crisp image. Then I'm just going to let it up. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. And let me bring in the gray one as well. That's a great image. And then I went ahead and folded it. So once again, I used this stamp press and I used Anna Griffin inks, and you just get a really nice finish. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching, and please visit my blog at www.paperboutiquewithlynda.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.